What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Rob's Gaming Table. Today on the table we have another Game of Thrones card game, second edition video. This time we are in the top 8 of the Quebec Regional 2018. It's brought to you by these awesome people that support the channel at patreon.com/Rob's Gaming Table. In this one we have Guillaume playing Greyjoy Greensight against Drew playing Targ Wars to Come. I had the choice to record 2 of the top 8 games. I chose this one because the Greyjoy Greensight. I'm a Greyjoy fan, you guys know that. Playing that faction for the last year or so. More than a year. But Greensight was the real big reason. Who the hell runs that agenda and who the hell makes the cut with it? We'll find out right here. And we got set up, we got Triss. And the Silence His Crew on the Greyjoy side of things. On the other side, for the Targ Wars player, Drew, we have Littlefinger and the Quaith of the Shadows, I believe is the name. So I had fun watching Guillaume's Greyjoy Greensight here in the cut. I definitely sat beside his games to watch when I could. I was very curious. I noticed he was drawing a crowd just for the Greensight agenda. So late summer feast into Time of Plenty. The Target player chooses the Greyjoy player to go first. And now they're going to do Greensight. We see a City Gates, and I believe that's the event that brings attachments back into play. On the Greyjoy side of things, I'm just looking it up here to find out. Yeah, pay the iron price as a challenge action. Choose an attachment in an opponent's discard pile and put it into play under your control. Reaction after you win an unopposed challenge. Pay 1 gold to return. Pay the iron price from your discard pile back to your hand. I'm assuming he's playing that because, you know, Cohor is out at this point. Attachments are a thing. In the good decks, I guess you could get Crown of Gold or Ward. In the best case scenarios, out of your opponent's discard piles and put them into play under your control. Yeah. So I guess you can turn those against those players. You can steal king attachments, I guess, from like Tyrell or whoever. So we got a great haul out there, 9 gold. Well, 9 gold plays the great haul. So 8 gold in the great haul now to work with. Triss Botley is going to work well. Usually work well against a Targ player when you can steal the events they're playing, but you got to watch out because some of those events plus the Blood of the Dragon plot can kill him. Crown of Gold can kill him. So we get a Iron Islands Fishmonger put into play. We get it Nelt right away, plus a great haul. And we get Euron out there to start. That's a good guy to see early. He wants that City Gates across the board, I'm sure. Get that on his side, get some extra gold. And if you get lucky, you can maybe get some pillage or intrigue claim, throw in something better in the discard pile. Maybe get himself a nice juicy marine. Or flea bottom. Flea bottom would be cool. And he's going to spend 3 on Corset Aaron Dampere. Let's bring him back Ironborns if he wins Dominance. So now over to the Targ player. He's going to play Rose Road for his limited to start here. Should have 7 gold. Yeah, looks like 7 gold to work with because he got an extra 1 off Littlefinger. And you got to be careful with that late summer feast. Letting a Targ player draw more cards just feeds into their whole, you know, discard or Clotho jumping into play or get their events for their burn. I think Targ's like the worst faction I want to give cards to. We see Clotho in hand there. And Miri Maz Murder. A nostalgic favorite of mine. Used her to win a regional back in the day when she first came out. She's not as cool as she used to be, but still dirty, still putting pressure on your opponent. So I think the Greyjoy player passed challenges. Doesn't want to do any. Doesn't want to give his opponent more cards, but I mean, he I don't think he's going to lose all the challenges here. But yeah. So we've got Quaith coming in on a challenge here. Not sure if it was military or intrigue. We'll find out shortly. If Euron jumps into it, it's intrigue. Or I guess it could be military. I'm sure he won't block with Euron. Maybe. He wants to save Euron. I think it's military, because you want to save the intrigue for Miri. But he doesn't have any gold to reduce strength. Yeah, I don't know. He will bite, he says. And he puts Euron in the challenge. So forced reaction, we'll draw a card. And we get Renown and Pillage. It's Khal Drogo, that's a good card to pillage. And he's going to take the city gates.
I'm going to discard 2 cards from my hand.
Yeah, and claim.
And we get Quotho coming into play after pitching 2 Targ cards.
Military.
So I guess it was an intrigue with Quaith, and now we got a military with Quotho. No defenders on that.
Claim 1.
Claim is going to be the Iron Islands Fishmonger.
And a whole bunch of pillage. 9. Stop there.
And that's going to be it.
So
Now, if you're going to trigger Triss this round, what do you take? Do you take Khal Drogo? Or do you take Dragon is no slave? I'd probably take Dragon is no slave, but... Dominus goes to the Greyjoy player.
forced reaction. Can we dial that back? Is that possible?
When I win.
That's when you win, yeah.
You only did one.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
only won one. So
All right.
Neil Layton.
I'm good with 6 cards.
I gotta chuck one.
So it looks like the Greyjoy player has to chuck 1 for taxation. Yeah, he's not triggering Triss here in this first round, which I think is a mistake. Unless he's trying to get more cards in the discard pile and he's got the Iron Islands markets or whatever. That makes sense. Oh, no, he's going to look now. Oh, 2 Dragon is no slaves. Yeah. I think you jack one of those for sure.
I have an action bring taxation before.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, he's going to do the action of Triss and taxation. But it should be after he discards the card. He has to discard the card for taxation first, and then he can trigger actions. Yeah, he does. Oh, he's debating on the Khal Drogo, actually. Yeah, he chooses Khal Drogo. See, they're both good choices, I think. But he could just do Triss for one of them now, and then one the next round. But he could also wait till his opponent takes one of those. Yeah, he could take both, I guess, though. At the same time, take both Dragons and no slaves as long as he has 2 gold, right? After 1 challenge. And it'd be too late for Triss to grab one of them, so he's got to grab one before that happens. Or just hold out and try to get something better. Still debating which card to chuck for taxation here. Looks like on the Greyjoy side of things. Targ player, I think, got his plot locked. Did he pitch a card? I don't know if he did. Maybe he did. So counting coppers into heads on spikes. Greyjoy player winning initiative. He gets to choose who goes first here. And he chooses the Targ player to go first. So he is going to let heads on spikes go first. Really doesn't care so much about the characters in hand. Doesn't want to fill up his hand a little more and find others. And a Crown of Gold hit. That is huge. And Drew just pointing out the event in the discard pile of his opponent that we were just talking about earlier. Stealing attachments and putting them into play. Oh, man. I'm excited to see this go off if he gets it. Oh, so before draw, they're actually going to do the Greensight, which they will discard. Puts the Dracarys in the discard pile. And then they'll draw.
Who did you choose first, by the way? Was it you? You were first. Right.
So now Dracarys in the dead pile. That's a good card to steal with Triss. There's no Dragon or Dany in play yet, though, but at some point you'll have to take one of those. So Lyra's Estate put in there for the limited. And we got a Beggar King played on Miri. So she is now a king. Some protection against the king in the north plot, of course. And if you're playing low gold plots, helps you get some extra econ. We do see he has Viserion in hand, so he does have a dragon if he wants to threaten Dracarys. Quotho gets a dupe. And Viserion's in play, yep, for 2 gold. Gonna spend 1 on a flea bottom.
Probably like 4.
Yeah, 4.
You need to do math.
So while we're waiting for Guillaume to play a card here, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and that little alarm bell button beside the subscribe button after you subscribe. As I'm going to remind you in every video. I'm sure you're sick of hearing it. Alright, so we got a Great Hall Knelt. So we're going to see a unique character. So Targ players got to remember not to let an unopposed go through so that event won't go back to hand. Assuming there's not already one in the Greyjoy player's hand, he's also got to protect his flea bottom from getting a We Do Not Sow smacking it out of the board and Euron stealing it. So he's got to go first, but he's got to make sure he saves enough to defend each challenge to prevent unopposed. And there's an Iron Islands Fish Markets coming out for 2, but getting 1 in return. Only 4 in the discard pile of his opponent right now. And we get little Theon. He was reduced by 1 off the Great Hall. He's going to spend 1 for an Iron Mines. Protect Euron from a Valor here. And saves the gold. Over to the Targaryen player for his challenges. So does he have a way to prevent Theon from getting unopposed on a power? I guess, yeah, he has Viserion and Quaith, so he's got to keep... Well, I guess Viserion can just handle either or. He's got to not remember not to use him at all, even for Jacaerys.
Il a l'air patient. Il n'y a pas tant de décisions à prendre que ça. Écoute, c'est top. Ouais.
Unless he has Dracarys he can use on Euron. You can throw Miri into a challenge attacking, force Euron to jump in front of it, possibly. But I guess Iron Mines is there, so maybe he wouldn't bait the Euron into the challenge. He might just leave Euron to be saved by Iron Mines from the Miri trigger. Oh, he's going to use Miri with someone else. He's got to attack alone. But he's going to use Miri together with Quaith of the Shadow for 7. Is he playing Iron Bank has its due or whatever to return Quaith back to hand? That would be fun trickery to leave Miri alone. But like I said, Iron Mines is out there to kind of as insurance just to protect against a Miri targeted kill. Unless he has a Nightmares also, then Nightmaresing the Iron Mines could be kind of funny. Oh, yeah, smart. Uses Triss to put a Dracarys out of the game so that doesn't come and bite him. And he's going to throw Euron in there to block the unopposed.
So I still win, right? Yes. You still win.
So yeah, he is going to win. No tricks there. And on claim, looks like it's Risen by the Sea. And he's going to pass. Try to play defense, not let any unopposed challenges come through. Over to the Greyjoy player for his challenges. And we got a military here with Theon.
Lower strength. So he can do it, right? Well, each guy is lower strength. Higher strength. Okay, yeah.
So yeah, he's going to block the unopposed with Viserion.
Yep, so I'll claim.
So military claim. Looks like it's going to be Quaith. So a little side story about Drew, the player on the right, the Targaryen player. I was kind of rooting for him, sort of being the underdog. I know Guillaume's been playing for a long time, but Drew actually comes from the Star Wars, the card game LCG, which we know is no longer around. He didn't want to move on to Destiny, he said. Didn't like the whole CCG thing. But he came to Thrones, and it was nice seeing him come out to a tournament, see another quote-unquote newish player. who watches the channel and said these videos help him out, helped him get into the tournament scene, helped him learn. So it's cool meeting you. And yeah, thanks for playing on camera. I hope watching this video does help you just like the other ones did, and anybody out there who are watching these videos. That was the reason I got into this, was just to make content for people to see. There wasn't really any tournament content. First edition content kind of died, so I stepped it up in first edition to record a couple tournaments, and yeah. But I realized no one was really doing it for Thrones, so I figured, hey, I want to show you guys. It's fun to come out to tournaments. You don't need to make any qualifiers or anything. You don't need to be too serious about it. You can come out, just have some fun. At any level, really. So after that round, we have the Greyjoy player sitting at 4 power. Wasn't able to get the unopposed off to do any of the shenanigans. And Targ player is sitting at 0. And he does have king in the north. Playing Baker King makes sense. And he's going to shut off characters, locations, and attachments of his opponent unless he can get a king card into play. He's probably playing that pillage attachment. I noticed a lot of Greyjoy decks playing that lately to help with the king in the north. And counting coppers drawn 3 cards there for the Greyjoy player. And we get Greensight. There is that pillage attachment. He's going to draw it, of course.
It stays there, yeah, but we get to draw it. We're going to draw it. So you draw this one. And then
Yeah, they'll just do draw phase draw.
so you drew the flea bottom in another one?
Yes.
So he knows his opponent just threw into a flea bottom.
Either you keep it there,
Or you discard it.
Yeah, he's just clearing up what Greensight did. So you either discard it or leave it on the top of the deck, but he drew it right away thinking, like, I'm going to get it anyway, but... Yeah, that was a lucky flip there, finding that. I mean, he would have drawn it anyway, but still. Lucky his deck's definitely feeding him the right cards. It's funny that I just said he could be playing it, and there it is. So dupe on flea bottom. Yep, dupe your locations when you're playing against Greyjoy kids. Actually, dupe them now that everyone's playing Wars to Come and political disaster is a thing. So you can save those locations. Oh, we got an Astapor out there. 4 gold put on it right away. No questions asked.
has to be participating.
Participating, yeah. And can't see?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah, I think
We'll get down. It's going to be behind the Superman sign soon.
that's good.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
So like 1, 2, 3.
So 3 gold saved on the Targaryen side over to the Greyjoy player for his marshalling, getting 3 gold. And he's going to put out that king attachment right away on Aaron Dampere. And he's going to get 1 gold off the fish markets, not 8 in the discard pile yet.
Turns on.
Yeah.
So 2 gold for another fish market, getting another gold back.
I think we'll leave it at that.
And he's going to save 2 gold.
Challenge. Do an intrigue challenge.
So he's going to do an intrigue challenge with Miri here. Which Astapor's sitting there on the back line, just waiting to reduce strength on Euron. So if he jumps in front of that, he's not going to be able to stop it. Do we have a Nightmares in the hand of the Greyjoy player? And 3 gold sitting on the Targ player's block card there means there's going to be multiple ways you can reduce strength on Euron so that Miri comes through with the kill. But then again, Iron Mine sitting out there as a backup. And then again, worst case scenario, if you can win dominance, you have Aeron Damper to bring an Ironborn back into play. It's a little bit of redundancy there. And he's going to block with Euron.
Take an action. Yeah, sure.
And Astapor is going to reduce Euron's strength by 4.
So I think I win that. Yep. 2. So instead of claim, I'll trigger her.
Now, does he target kill Triss? I mean, the Iron Mines is probably going to be used either way, but I think you go after Euron either way. But then again, that Ironborn trait, I don't know if Triss is Ironborn, but yeah, he's going to let him die and save the Iron Mines. Interesting. And he's just going to try to win dominance and bring him back into play at some point with Aeron Damper.
That's it.
And that's it for challenges for the Targ player. Over to the Greyjoy player for his challenges. So what I think he's doing here is keeping that Iron Mines to keep Aeron Damper in play, even if a Valor goes off, and then he can hopefully, maybe he's got Iron Thrones in the deck, he can get one of those out in play and start winning dominance and bringing the Ironborns back. This is a long-term plan, possibly. I could be wrong. So we got a military coming in for 6, since he's got a gold on him, getting a +2 off the bestow ability. Or off the passive ability, thanks to bestow.
So I'm going to take an action. Sure. Do 1 for Nightmares on him.
So 1 gold spent for Nightmares, bring him down to 4. And we got Hand's Judgment saying, no, I don't care about your Nightmares.
Still have any gold? Need 1 gold.
He's going to block for 5, so 6 to 5. And now claim he's going to do a dupe off Kotho. Pillage is an Isle of Ravens. And that gets a power off that King of Salt and Rock or whatever it's called. Since it's pillage location. I also think he gets a gold on the pillage off Silence's crew, but I could be wrong. Or did he? Silence's crew, yeah, location or attachment. Place a gold from the treasury on Silence's crew. So I don't know if he did there. It looks like still only 1 gold.
I have no action, no reaction. Regular claim.
No claim, though.
Oh.
Yeah, nothing to claim for the power challenge there. Nothing on the Targ player's house card.
Well, that's okay. No for the chance. Down. You got 7. 6. Yeah. So I win down.
So dominance win by the Greyjoy player. Gets dominance, triggers Aeron Dampere, and Euron's back in play just like that.
Not Ironborn.
Yes.
Yeah, see, just realized Tris Botley wasn't Ironborn and thought he should have probably killed him instead. I don't know. Yeah, I think you should have just been careful about dominance.
How many cards in your discard?
7.
So 7 in the discard pile, but he can use Greensight to throw another card in there before getting around to the next marshalling, so he should be able to turn on his Iron Islands fish markets,
Cards in your hand?
assuming he doesn't want the card to stay on the top of the deck.
So I got 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So we got Valar Morghulis flipped into Accounting Coppers. That's why it was scary taking that dupe off Kotho. I thought that it might leave him exposed. And he'll be able to save. Does he have any Risens in hand? That's the question. He's got 1 Iron Mines. Chooses the Greyjoy player to go first.
Trigger first. Trigger Valor first.
So Valar Morghulis going off first.
Save Aeron.
Is this possible for me to do that now, or
No, it's after.
it's after? So she will die first.
Yeah, so Aeron Dampere is going to be saved with the Iron Mines. And everyone else is going to die. Now Triss is out of play. So those cards, or he's in the dead pile. So those cards that were out of play, the Khal Drogo and the Dracarys, are now, they're now, yeah, they stay out of play, but he's able to play the copies of those if he gets them.
You can actually put them face down. Because if I ever have Triss again on the board,
Right.
it starts like kind of
Starts
a new,
over?
It starts over.
Yeah.
Military trigger.
Okay. So you're first, right? Oh, I
Then
have
you draw
to
your
draw my
cards.
3. Yes. 1, 2, 3.
And then we reveal,
Reveal.
and I'm going to discard it.
Yeah, so he's going to kneel his faction card to start off Greensight to get 8 in the discard pile. Doesn't need that Sea Tower, doesn't need his opponent drawing the Drogon. Wants to get more gold off his Iron Islands fish markets.
I collect 3 gold.
So Greyjoy player going first, getting 3 gold.
And your discard should be 8.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, so 8 in the discard, so he's going to get 4 gold now off these 2 fish markets. Plays an Iron Fleet Scout for free there. And plays 1 for an Iron Islands Fishmonger. Kneeling Great Hall also. And we get the Reader into play with a dupe. And 3 gold for Hagen's daughter.
The only save that works against Targ. That's it. Because when you save her, you put her in shadow. So
Yeah.
her strength
Doesn't matter.
doesn't matter.
Okay. So I collect 3.
So only 3 gold to work with, and the Lear's Estate on the Targaryen side. So let's see what kind of board he can build up here. Doesn't have to worry about claim from his opponent right now. Yeah, he's checking his discard pile to see if he needs to save a gold or not. He dupes up Astapor, smart play.
Yeah. Who I'm playing against.
Yes, Drew. He says he knows who he's playing against. Yeah, that's smart. All right, kneels the Illyria's Estate. Gets Viserys Targaryen out there.
It's a nice. I was gonna say it's a nice grindy match, but there's not much left.
Yeah.
Keep going. Alright. Pre-challenge action.
So we're into challenges here.
Military.
And we got a military with Hagen's daughter.
Please burn her.
I don't think he has to worry here, really. It's like no claim, but I think C players do this all the time where I've done it too, where you think your opponent has claim, you start getting all paranoid. And you start doing all these effects, and so Fire and Blood's going to bring back Viserion. See, I don't think he should have done that right now.
No,
He's going to block.
That's my only challenge.
Yeah, the Greyjoy player's going to stop on challenges there, but I think he should have not brought Viserion in yet. So hopefully the reader would go down, then he can bring in Viserion, maybe win dominance. Just don't want that Greyjoy player winning dominance, really. That's a big threat right now. I think, but I could be wrong. And if I'm ever wrong, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Alright, so we got one spent on Flea Bottom. Brings in Drogon.
let's go.
That's with Flea Bottom, right?
That's with the flea bottom, so yeah. Let's do power for one.
So he's going to do a power challenge for one with Viserys. And he's going to let it go unopposed. He really wants to win that dominance. Doesn't want to kneel anybody. So we get unopposed and claim. Greyjoy player down to 4 power now. Targ player at 2. And he's going to go in on the military challenge. And he'll take unopposed power for that. Hagen's daughter will go back to Shadows.
3. Or shadow cost? Yeah. She's already gone. I should have looked. Okay. That's it for challenges. So
I went down.
yeah, he was away though. Yep. To the bottom of my deck.
So Drogon will leave play there, bottom of the deck. Dominus goes to Greyjoy player, and Euron is back in play just like that.
So good.
It's funny how there's a comeback of a lot of first cycle and core set cards that.
They were not used.
Yeah, they weren't bad. They just weren't.
So I just heard Daniel Mueller at the side of the board there say he's surprised at seeing all these core set cards making a comeback, or cards that never were seen, really. I'm assuming he's pointing out like Aaron Dampere, for example. But that's by design. I've heard the designer say in interviews before, Daniel Schaefer, about trying to look at old cards and just trying to figure out a way to make a new card or new cards to kind of get those cards brought out of the binder and, you know, really get them working.
Oh wait, you got this? Yeah. This is the one that gives you +2. All right, I'll take it.
You want to go first?
I guess so. Yeah.
So the Targaryen player is going to go first. He's doing that based on seeing the Iron Fleet Scout and hoping it doesn't give +2. He'd rather just give +1. But also maybe just put pressure on his opponent.
Before it draw.
So now they're going to do Greensight here. It's the Reader and a Second Sons. So they'll just draw the top 2 cards instead. No Greensight, throwing them in the discard pile.
Okay, I'm first. So I collect 2, 3.
So looks like a big trade routes hit on both sides of the board there.
So we have 9, so I should have 12.
Ouais, j'étais content.
So let's see how these guys are going to put this money to work.
Predicted something, so
And we get Daenerys in there, 5-cost Dany, into play with a dupe.
Les grosses factions, c'est Tyrell puis Targ en France, ils sont bons contre le burn, c'est des gros bodies. Tyrell, c'est pumpé. Même si je te vois ton board, il y a tellement de bons characters maintenant.
And for 6 gold, Khal Drogo. And a bigger king on Dany. And there's a 4 gold gained off the Iron Islands fish markets. So 16 gold and Great Hall and Iron Islands fishmonger to work with on the Greyjoy side here. Can marshal whatever he wants. Let's see what he does with it here. There he is, my buddy Dagmar Cleftjaw. Going for some Astapors and Flea Bottoms. It's got to win alone, though, and Astapor is going to make that hard, actually. But, I mean, a Nightmares at the right time is pretty dirty. And he's going to bestow a Silence His Crew for 3. Which is a great anti-Targ card. When Targ's good in the meta, I always put extra Silence His Crews in my deck. They are just great beat sticks that kind of laugh at the burn. And you can use them in challenges while your important characters stay safe-ish. And a dupe on the Reader, saving 4 gold on the Greyjoy side. Now we're going to challenges. Targ player going first here.
Choose this one here. It's +1, right?
+1 now.
On demand.
Second player.
C'est la faiblesse de burn.
So even with Khal Drogo out there, doing possibly 2 military challenges. I mean, he's got enough military to defend anyway, but I mean, even if you let it go through unopposed or lose them, he's got Reader dupes and an Iron Islands fishmonger to kill. He's probably not too worried about that. Maybe saves. Got Hagen's daughter in shadows. Still has gold to bring it back out, so he can defend with her even and still claim her. And yeah, there she is. It's going to defend the power challenge from Viserys.
Okay, you win that. I think I'll pass to you.
And that's going to be it for challenges. Over to the Greyjoy player for his challenges. And you see there, if you can see, I'm sure you've seen it already, but the Kraken on, or the Greyjoy symbol or whatever, logo, sigil, whatever, on the elbow of Guillaume there. It's definitely a diehard Greyjoy fan, that's for sure. So when you see him sit down at the table from you, that's, you don't even need to see his house card yet. You know what he's playing. Or he'll just troll you and you think it's that, but yeah, pretty cool tattoo. So power challenge coming in with Silence His Crew, blocking the unopposed with Viserion. Claims 1, we get a pillage here. And it's a location. So he gets a power. You remembered the gold there on the Silence His Crew, and he got the power off of that crown attachment, or king attachment, whatever it is, on Dampere. So 7 power now on the Greyjoy side. And now military with Dampere. This is what Astapor was saved for. got to block with Khal Drogo and use Astapor. I don't know what else he's got in hand, but or what he's got in the discard, actually. He has a gold. He could definitely use Flea Bottom to jump something in. He's got Dracarys in hand. Could kneel Danny. And he's going to block with Khal Drogo. Yeah, I think he used a Dracarys on Dagmar. I think it's not a bad call. So Dagmar becomes a 6 after Iron Fleet Scout. And Astapor brings Dagmar down to 2. And Khal Drogo wins on the defense, gets a renown. And now an intrigue with Euron, who's at 6. You could play the Dracarys, reduces by 4, and then Danny gets another -1 on him. And he'll just block the unopposed and take it to the chin here. And gets a Consuming Flames. And renown on Euron, and we get some pillage, which is an attachment. So gets a power on Dampere. And Euron should be able to trigger to steal a location. If there is one. Maybe there's not. But Dominance going to the Greyjoys. And trigger on Dampere. Bringing little Theon back into play. This is looking pretty gross. But I mean, maybe we'll see a Valar Dohaeris. Maybe we'll see a Valar Morghulis on the Targaryen side of things. A Wildfire even. Something. Gotta see a reset of some kind. So I don't think Blood of the Dragon's gonna be enough here. Targ Wars to come. 10 plots. Hopefully he's got a juicy reset in there. I don't think he's played any yet. First Snow Winter is not really going to do anything either. Although, here on Dampere is only 3 costs and doesn't have a dupe on him. But I'm sure he would have played that earlier if he had it. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, Valar Dohaeris, and you win or you die. So there is the reset we needed. Let's clean up some of this crap on the board here. And it looks like the Targaryen player... oh, no. Initiative was won by the Greyjoy player. Choose himself to go first with 2 claim. Makes sense.
They go on the bottom of the deck, right?
They go at the bottom of the deck, yeah. They cannot be saved, though. Yeah.
Yeah, so the dupes fall off the reader, but they can't be saved, so they just fall off, and the rest of the cards go to the bottom of the deck. And we got Euron and Dampere saved out there. And
What does it say?
It's after I reveal it.
Yep. So we do the plots.
Yep.
Then there's a plot after reaction after the plots have been revealed, and then there's the action window during the plot phase.
So did I miss it? Did I miss that trigger is what I'm asking?
No. Okay. We do the win reveal, then there's the reaction.
After both of the win reveals.
yeah, so you're going to do both win reveals first, then you can trigger Beggar King. So he's going to draw 2 with the winner you die. And then Beggar King will go to get... Yeah, only 1 gold because there's a king across the board. That attachment on Aeron Dampere. It's been racking up the power. And we get a Gates of the Moon and Triss Spotley, who's already dead, I believe. He's going to keep them on the top, not discard them, and then draw. Not sure why, though. So I'm pretty sure Triss is dead, but I could be wrong. I think he died earlier in the Valar Morghulis. That was played by the Greyjoy player. Alright, a great haul. Kneels them both. Doesn't kneel them both. Oh, he's got one of those little guys that can bestow, and then he can kneel down Astapor, which I think is who he wants to get out instead. Yeah, he definitely needs to get those on the board. He needs some location control. Whether he's got a shipwright or this guy. Stony Shore Raider, I think they're called. But he's got to bestow them. He's just probably debating on how much to bestow them and how much he needs for cards in his hand.
Yeah, I know.
I'm deciding if I'm just doing math.
Go ahead.
See a Nighttime Marauders in hand. He's probably debating using those guys this turn, maybe. So he needs to save enough gold to marshal them into shadows and then to bring them out of shadows. So he's going to bestow for 2.
Kneel this now. I'm sure you're not going to kneel that one, but...
So he does kneel Astapor as the next action after the Illyria's estate was knelt.
Might not survive.
And a card in shadows for 2, saves 3 gold. Most likely to use the Nighttime Marauders this round and bring them out of shadows.
I'd say maybe the fourth because Mabani's not now he has one strong deck. Then again, the top 3 are good against the dragons come out. Yeah.
So Gates of the Moon that he just drew into play. And the Greyjoy player is going to look through the discard pile, see what costs he can choose with the Nighttime Marauders. Try to get maximum impact on the hand reveal and discard there.
And I'll pay 2. Reduction here.
So we got a second Sons marshaled straight up off the discount from Leo's estate. And he's going to sit on 3 gold. So on to challenges. So challenge action, we got Nighttime Marauders coming out of shadows.
Mind the roll, come out of shadows to the card in the opponent's discard pile. The player reveals his other hand and discards each card with the same token cost as the chosen card.
So which card? Do you choose any number, basically?
Yeah, I'm choosing this one.
So I think he chose a 1 cost.
These 2 get discarded?
And Viserys and Dracarys go away. Khal Drogo and Rhaegal are the other 2 cards in hand there.
Actually very good for me.
Now he knows his opponent doesn't have any burn in hand, so he can kind of go crazy here.
Military.
It's going to do a military of 2. It's 2 claim. He's got to block with that second Sons, but really he's just trying to get a power challenge through, I'm sure. And then intrigue claim. So he can empty his opponent's hand, and then when his hand gets discarded, I don't know if he's close enough for the win here. What's he got? Looks like he's at 10 power right now. So we can get some unopposed through, some claim, renown. We can get pretty close to closing out here.
2 minutes left, guys. 2 minutes.
2 minutes left in the round. Thanks to that awesome guy, Rob, coming by and telling us. Past Rob, helping out future Rob here.
Defend with him. So what's claim 2, eh? Claim 2,
He is going to block the unopposed, but he's going to claim Viserys and Viserion. And that's going to get rid of the King attachment there off Viserys' reaction. Or Viserys, however you say it. If the Targ player can hold on here, I want to see a juicy Valar Morghulis played next round. Assuming he plays both Valors in his plot deck. But that's probably rare. So far, Aaron Dampere I'm calling as the MVP of this game if the Greyjoy player wins it. And he blocks the intrigue. So no power, but claim of 2. Both cards are going to go to the discard pile. So we're down on Euron. We get the pillage, which is another Dracarys. Wow, what a pillage. think all 3 Dracs are gone from the game now, since 1's out of play and 2 are in the discard pile. Yeah, he did have other locations in there. I think he didn't trigger Euron last round. Maybe, yeah. I don't know why not, but anyways. And now a power challenge with Dampare and the Nighttime Marauders for 6. Blocks the unopposed, claim of 2. There's 2 power on the house card of the Targ player. Yeah, 13 power on the Greyjoy side. That's time in the round, so this is going to be it. And that'll be enough to close it down. Dominance goes to the Targ player. And they finish reserve at 0. No cards on the other side, and that's it, because time's up, so they finish that round.
Well, in theory, he called time. You guys were still in theory, we're done. So I don't know if you guys really.
He called time, and we were at dawn. So I guess that's that.
Yeah, that's it for the round. They realize it, so too bad for Drew. Congrats to Guillaume. Moving on to the top 4, so stay tuned. We got another top 8 game coming up, and then you'll see Guillaume take that Greyjoy Greensight into a top 4 game, so make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for that one. We're also playing some Gloomhaven. Videos are popping up every weekend-ish, usually, so follow along in that series. Go back. We got playlists for all this stuff at Rob's Gaming Table on YouTube, so you can go check out previous Game of Thrones tournaments and other board game videos. Either way, see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.